All right, what's going on, guys and girls? So, today we're going to be looking at Genesis 1, the first chapter of the Bible, for our chapter a day Bible study. And I'm going to try my best to post one of these every day. So, stay tuned for them. And let's hop right into it. One quick note though, after I read the chapter, sort of the format that we're going to follow is I'm going to read the chapter and then we're going to go over some points of emphasis and then we're going to look at some life application. And that we're going to try to do that for every chapter. So that's kind of the format we're going to follow. But let's get right into it. Genesis 1, the creation. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and void, and the darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was moving over the surface of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning one day. Then God said, "Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." God made the expanse and separated the waters which were below the expanse from the waters which were above the expanse, and it was so. God called the expanse heaven. And there was evening and there was morning, a second day. Then God said, "Let the waters below the heavens be gathered into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. God called the dry land earth, and the gathering of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the earth sprout vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit trees on the earth bearing fruit after their kind with seed in them." And it was so. The earth brought forth plants yielding seed after their kind, and trees bearing fruit with seed in them after their kind. And God saw that it was good. There was evening and there was morning, a third day. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth." And it was so. God made the two great lights, the greater light to govern the day and the lesser light to govern the night. He made the stars also. God placed them in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth, and to govern the day and the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. There was evening and there was morning, a fourth day. Then God said, "Let the waters teem with swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth in the open expanse of the heavens." One second. God created the great sea monsters and every living creature that moves, with which the waters swarmed after their kind, and every winged bird after its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth." There was evening and there was morning, a fifth day. Then God said, Let the earth bring forth living creatures after their kind, cattle and creeping things and beasts after their kind." And it was so. God made the beasts of the earth after their kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creeps on the ground after its kind, and God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." Then God said, "Behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the surface of all the earth, and every tree which has fruit yielding seed. It shall be food for you. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the sky, and to everything that moves on the earth which has life, I have given every green plant for food." And it was so. God saw all that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. Alright, so we just got through the reading of Genesis. Now let's look at some Genesis 1 points. So first off, we have the chapter. The main theme of the chapter is the overview of creation, clearly. It's the first 6 days of our earth as we know it, which is pretty important. The second thing that this chapter shows us is the supreme power God has. So obviously it's pretty incredible that our God created the earth in 6 days when we can't even create life in a laboratory setting. We can't even create something as much as a fly or a living plant or anything. We can't give life to anything besides reproduction, clearly. So that shows the power that God has. So the third point we have here is God always was and always will be. Now, this is a tough thing to wrap your head around because, um, you know, everything in this world is finite. Everything has a beginning, everything has an end. Everything, literally everything that we know on this earth is finite. But God's not, and that's truly amazing. It's hard to understand that God always was, and possibly even harder to understand that He always will be. It's eternal, so it's pretty crazy. Um, Side note: six-day creation is to be taken literally. I take this literally. A lot of secular scientists and even some Christian scientists say that a day is a figurative word for maybe a year or even 10,000 years or a million years or whatever. But I take a day for a day, 24 hours, 6 days, and He built the earth. So that's how I take it, and I think the whole Bible is to be taken literally. So that's just a side note to point out there. So let's move on to the next slide. Here we go. Life application. So faith is crucial to understanding God and His ways. And that is very true. I mean, like I said, we can't really wrap our heads around the fact that God always was, but that's where our faith comes in. We have faith that that's true. Obviously, none of us were there to observe it, and there's really no way of proving it other than the words that are in the Bible, which, in a court, that wouldn't be proof. That would just be a book that says something. But that's where our faith comes in, and that's where we believe that. So it is very crucial to understanding God and His ways. Many things we need to have faith in. And the second life application that we can have is a healthy fear of the Lord is important. And I put this in there because, in our day and age, it's not like God comes down or, Jesus is performing miracles in front of our eyes and so forth. And sometimes we forget that He's even there or that He's a factor, and we'll just do things that we just kind of do without really thinking about them. And, we just kind of let God fade into the background, I guess you could say. And why I put this point in here is because this shows that God is so prominent. He made everything that we have, every tree, He made it all in the beginning, and He's very real, and we should never let God just fade into the background. So that's all I have for you guys today. I'll have Genesis 2 up tomorrow, and I thank you all for watching.